The drama on The Bold and the Beautiful takes a sharp turn when Sheila, ever suspicious and driven by a dark, relentless need to control, begins to follow the trail of Deacon. Her instincts, sharp as ever, led her straight to Il Giardino, Deacon's restaurant, where she overhears a conversation that ignites an inferno of jealousy and anger within her. The scene that unfolds marks a pivotal moment in the tension between Sheila, Deacon, and the people they care about. Sheila had always been an unpredictable force in the lives of the people around her. Her motivations veiled in secrecy, and her emotions raw and volatile. She had been suspicious of Deacon for some time now, particularly his increasingly frequent interactions with Taylor. Sheila's paranoia had been growing steadily, her feelings of betrayal simmering beneath the surface. What had once been a relationship built on lies and manipulation now felt fragile. And Sheila's need for control, as well as her fear of losing Deacon, was pushing her to the brink. She had always been the one to manipulate others. But now, she felt herself slipping into a place where her hold on Deacon was no longer as secure as it had been before. Something was changing, and Sheila wasn't sure if she liked it. One evening, Sheila's worst fears seemed to be coming true. With her suspicion consuming her, she decided to follow Deacon, just to see where he went, what he did when she wasn't around. She knew his routine well. He often visited Il Giardino, a popular spot in town where he managed to maintain a comfortable distance from the scrutiny of the outside world. It was a place where he could escape the heavy weight of his past and make connections. Especially with someone like Taylor, who seemed to be growing increasingly close to him. It was there, at Il Giardino, that Sheila caught a glimpse of something she wasn't prepared for. Through a crack in the door, she heard Taylor's familiar voice, filled with warmth and affection, as she spoke with Deacon. It sounded so casual at first, a friendly conversation, but to Sheila's ears, it was far more than that. There was something in the way Taylor laughed, something in the tone of her voice that immediately set Sheila on edge. Sheila had seen how Taylor had started spending more time with Deacon. How the two of them had developed an undeniable bond. Sheila, always quick to feel betrayed, felt her heart sink, her blood begin to boil. The conversation between Taylor and Deacon grew increasingly intimate. The line between friendship and something more blurry and uncomfortably close to something Sheila had always feared, an emotional connection that could threaten her grip on Deacon. Sheila's hands clenched into fists as she overheard Taylor's laughter echoing from within. The words they exchanged, the easy camaraderie between them, felt like a betrayal that cut deeper than anything Sheila had endured before. There was a warmth between them, a connection that Sheila hadn't shared with Deacon in a long time. And the jealousy she felt was unbearable. It was as if she were losing him, piece by piece, and there was nothing she could do to stop it. The betrayal gnawed at her, eating away at her thoughts as she watched Taylor leave the restaurant. Her eyes filled with the kind of joy that Sheila felt had been long absent from her own life. Taylor was leaving, and Deacon remained behind, clearly lingering on the conversation they had shared. Sheila's jealousy had reached its breaking point, and the anger that she had been trying to hold in for so long finally erupted. She wasn't about to let this go. Without giving it a second thought, Sheila stormed into Il Giardino, her eyes blazing with fury. The air seemed to crackle with tension as she confronted Deacon in the dead of night. Her voice icy and filled with venom. "So, this is what it's come to, huh?" Sheila hissed, her words dripping with disdain. Deacon turned sharply, his face stunned by her sudden appearance. But Sheila wasn't interested in his reaction. Her eyes locked onto him, filled with a mixture of rage and hurt. "You've been spending all this time with Taylor, haven't you? What's going on between you two?" Deacon, still caught off guard by Sheila's outburst, tried to calm the situation. "Sheila, this isn't what you think," he said, his voice soft and defensive. But Sheila was beyond reasoning. She could already feel the betrayal cutting deeper, the jagged edges of her heart starting to bleed with the realization that she had been right all along. "Don't lie to me, Deacon. I heard everything," Sheila spat, her voice rising with every word. "I heard the way she laughed with you, the way she looked at you. You've gotten too close to her, haven't you? And now, you're just going to leave me for her?" Deacon took a step toward her, his hands raised in a gesture of calm. But Sheila wasn't having any of it. "No, no more lies. I've put up with everything from you, your secrets, your past, your mistakes, but this? This is where I draw the line." Sheila's voice quivered with emotion, her jealousy and hurt pushing her into a state of rage she had never felt before. "I won't let you do this to me, Deacon. Not after everything we've been through." Deacon's eyes softened as he saw the pain in Sheila's face. He knew that the situation had spiraled out of control, but he also knew that there was nothing romantic between him and Taylor. He had nothing but respect for Taylor, but the bond they shared was one of friendship, nothing more. He reached out for Sheila, trying to make her understand, but she recoiled from his touch, her eyes wide with fury. You think I don't see what's going on here? Sheila continued, her voice trembling with anger. You think you can just replace me with her? Just like that? No, Deacon, I won't let you get away with this. I won't sit here and let you walk away from me. Deacon's face hardened as he stepped back, realizing that Sheila wasn't going to listen to reason. He had known that she was unstable, but this was something different. This was something far more dangerous. Sheila, calm down, he said, his voice low, but Sheila wasn't hearing any of it. I'm not going to sit around and let you betray me like this. Sheila shouted, her voice now a screeching crescendo of anger and hurt. I'll make sure you regret this. I'll make sure Taylor regrets it too. No one messes with me, Deacon. Not anymore. The tension in the air was suffocating. Deacon stood there, trying to find the right words to calm Sheila down, but he could feel the situation slipping beyond his control. Sheila was no longer the woman he had once known. She was consumed by her jealousy, and there was nothing he could say that would change that. He had tried to be patient, but now, in this moment, he realized just how far things had gone. Sheila's eyes flashed with fury as she glared at him. You've made your choice, Deacon. And now you're going to live with the consequences. I won't be ignored. I won't be replaced. Her words were a promise. A dark and dangerous vow that would shake the foundation of the lives of everyone involved. The night ended in chaos as Sheila stormed out of the restaurant, leaving Deacon standing in the darkness, his mind racing with thoughts of what had just transpired. He had hoped to mend things with Sheila, to rebuild the fractured relationship they shared, but now it seemed like their connection was irreparably broken. The jealousy and rage that Sheila felt had turned her into someone unrecognizable. And Deacon was left with the haunting realization that the trust between them had been shattered beyond repair. For Sheila, this confrontation with Deacon marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life. A chapter filled with vengeance, obsession, and a thirst for power. As she walked away, her mind buzzed with thoughts of revenge. She wouldn't let Deacon go. She couldn't, and she would make sure Taylor paid the price for getting too close to him. The explosive encounter at Il Giardino was just the beginning, and the story of Sheila's twisted need for control would spiral further out of control, threatening to consume everyone in its path. Deacon and Taylor were now in Sheila's crosshairs, and there was no telling just how far she was willing to go to ensure they both paid the price for crossing her. The tension was only just beginning, and the repercussions of Sheila's jealousy and betrayal would reverberate through everyone's lives for weeks to come. In the dark, emotional heart of the bold and the beautiful, Sheila Carter's descent into madness reaches a terrifying new peak. No longer the woman of calculated control, Sheila's overwhelming jealousy, rage, and sense of betrayal consume her. The object of her wrath, Deacon Sharp, becomes the center of a twisted storm that could potentially destroy not only their lives but also the lives of everyone around them. The seeds of chaos, once planted by Sheila's insecurities and unhinged obsession, sprout into a deadly confrontation that will leave Deacon and Taylor ensnared in a web of lies, guilt, and fear. The story begins one fateful evening when Sheila's suspicions finally boil over into an uncontrollable fury. Her insecurities about Deacon's connection with Taylor have been festering for some time. But the breaking point comes when Sheila overhears a conversation between Deacon and Taylor at Il Giardino. The ease and intimacy of their words stoke the flames of jealousy within Sheila. What began as a quiet simmering suspicion now burns with a destructive intensity. And Sheila, unable to control herself any longer, confronts Deacon that night. Sheila arrives at his home in a state of raw emotion, her face twisted in a mixture of hurt and rage. You're betraying me, Deacon, she shouts as she storms into his living room, her voice sharp with accusation. Deacon, taken aback by her sudden arrival, tries to calm the situation, his tone pleading. Sheila, what are you talking about? What's going on? But Sheila, consumed by irrational jealousy, can't see reason. She blames Taylor for everything. She's taking everything from me, Sheila screams. Everything. You, my life, my future. She's just using you, Deacon, and you're too blind to see it. Deacon tries to placate Sheila, his voice softening as he steps closer to her. Sheila, that's not true. Taylor and I are just friends. You're making something out of nothing. Please, calm down. But the more Deacon tries to explain, the angrier Sheila becomes. Her jealousy clouds her judgment entirely. You're lying. I heard how you talked to her. I saw the way she looked at you. You've replaced me, haven't you, Deacon? You've chosen her over me. Sheila's words hit like daggers, and her tone shifts from hurt to pure rage. The woman who once schemed in the shadows now lashes out in fury, her emotions raw and dangerous. The confrontation becomes increasingly volatile. Sheila's accusations grow more frantic, her anger overwhelming her reason. She begins to throw things, smashing a nearby lamp onto the floor in a wild fit of rage. Deacon, caught off guard by the severity of her outburst, backs away, trying to defuse the situation. But Sheila, in her delusion, is beyond reason. I've had enough, Deacon. You want to be with her? Fine, I'll make sure you regret it, she shouts as she lunges at him, her hands raised, ready to strike. In the chaos of the moment, Deacon's instincts take over. He reacts in a panic, pushing Sheila away in an attempt to stop her from attacking. The force of his push is too much for Sheila to handle. She stumbles backward, her foot catching the edge of a nearby coffee table. In an instant, she crashes to the ground, her head slamming into the corner of a table with a sickening thud. The sound is sharp and final. The room falls eerily silent as Sheila lies motionless, blood beginning to pool beneath her. Deacon stands frozen, his heart pounding in his chest, his mind racing. He's in shock. Did he just kill her? The question haunts him as he watches the lifeless form of Sheila lying before him. Panic sets in as he shakily pulls out his phone and dials 911, his voice barely a whisper. Sheila, she fell, I didn't mean to, but as he waits for the operator to respond. Deacon hesitates, his fingers trembling. He glances at the blood on the floor and the lifeless woman before him. Something in his gut tells him that this moment will change everything. He's not sure what happened exactly, but Sheila is no longer moving. Is she dead? Could he be responsible for her death? The questions swirl around him, his mind clouded with fear and confusion. When the paramedics and police arrive shortly thereafter, the scene that greets them is disorienting. Sheila is gone. The room is empty, except for the faint traces of blood on the floor and a small, familiar object, a ring, the one Sheila had been wearing on her finger. It's been knocked off in the chaos, its presence in the room undeniable. Deacon is still standing there, visibly shaken, his hands trembling as he recounts the events to the authorities. She just fell. She was angry, and then she fell and hit her head. I didn't mean for this to happen. Please, you have to believe me, he pleads. But the police are confused. There's no sign of Sheila. No body, no immediate clues as to where she went or what had really happened. All they find are the bloodstains and the dropped ring. It's as if she simply vanished. Deacon, shaken and on the verge of collapse, is left to grapple with the reality of the situation. He doesn't know what to believe anymore. Did she really die? Could she have gotten up and walked away? Was there something more sinister at play? As far as Deacon is concerned, Sheila is gone, and with her, his entire world of lies and deceit seems to collapse around him. Just as the investigation begins to unravel, Taylor arrives at the scene. She has heard what happened and, understanding the delicate situation Deacon is in, steps in to help him. Taylor, always the compassionate and level-headed one, quickly realizes that this is not just an accident. Sheila's volatile nature, her growing obsession with Deacon, and the chaos of the confrontation make it clear that something has gone terribly wrong. As Deacon becomes more and more distraught, Taylor knows what needs to be done. She helps Deacon clean up the mess and covers up the evidence, ensuring that the police are left with only questions and no concrete answers. She helps him hide the truth, an act of desperation to protect him from a fate that could destroy both their lives. Taylor knows that if they don't act quickly, Deacon could be charged with Sheila's death. The weight of the lie they are about to tell begins to settle over them both. But neither of them is willing to face the consequences of what might happen if the truth gets out. As the days pass, Deacon and Taylor are forced to live with the guilt of their actions. Every time their eyes meet, there's a palpable tension between them. Both are torn by their own inner turmoil. Deacon, racked with guilt over the possibility of having killed Sheila, and Taylor, terrified of what will happen if anyone discovers the truth. The fear of Sheila's ghost looms over them, as they wonder if she will ever resurface to wreak havoc on their lives again. The uncertainty of Sheila's fate, coupled with the lies they've both told, haunts them at every turn. They find themselves drawn to one another in moments of crisis. But their growing attraction is tainted by the fear that they might soon be exposed. They share a bond that is fragile, built on deception and fear. But in these dark moments, it's the only thing they have to cling to. The dread of Sheila's potential return becomes their constant companion, and they both find themselves questioning whether they can ever truly escape the damage she left in her wake. The story continues to unfold as Deacon and Taylor navigate the twisted path they've created, torn between their growing connection and the crushing weight of their guilt. Sheila's absence from the scene may seem like a reprieve, but the fear that she's not truly gone lingers like a shadow, threatening to consume everything they've worked to protect. The ghost of Sheila Carter, with her deadly obsession and destructive need for control, might not be as far away as they think. And no one is safe from the consequences of the lies that they've all built their lives upon. As the darkness continues to close in, the stakes have never been higher for Deacon, Taylor, and everyone involved in this web of deceit, betrayal, and terror. As the weeks unfold in The Bold and the Beautiful, the tension surrounding Luna Nozawa's pregnancy reaches new heights. Luna, who had already been a central figure in a web of complex relationships, now finds herself caught between the truth and the consequences of the choices she has made. The Spencer family is desperate for answers, and Luna's silence about the identity of her child's father has everyone on edge. As the reality of the situation sinks in, Luna must confront her past decisions, and the future of her unborn child hangs in the balance. The drama intensifies as Luna's pregnancy progresses, with everyone wondering whether Will Spencer Jr. is the father. The answer to this question is crucial, not just for Luna but for the Spencer family as well. Will, played by Crew Morrow, had become an unexpected and pivotal part of Luna's life, and the possibility of him being the father of her child brings about an undeniable tension. The stakes are higher than ever, and Luna's silence on the matter has left both the Spencer family and the viewers in suspense. But as the truth edges closer to the surface, there's little doubt that the DNA test will reveal the shocking reality. In the next week's episodes, the anticipation peaks as Dr. Bridget Forrester, played by Ashley Jones, returns to the screen. Dr. Forrester, a trusted figure in the family, is tasked with conducting the much-awaited paternity test to determine whether Will is indeed the father of Luna's child. This brings a new layer of complexity to the situation, as Bridget's role in the Spencer family is crucial, and the results of the test will have far-reaching consequences for everyone involved. The chances of Will not being the father are slim to none. After all, Luna has been unconscious for a long period after the explosion, and Will is the only person with whom she has had a romantic connection since her recovery. However, despite the high probability that Will is the father, whispers of doubt begin to circulate. Rumors suggest that Luna, known for her ability to manipulate situations, may have intervened in the paternity test results. It's a shocking claim, but one that seems to fit with Luna's history of deception. Luna's ability to influence DNA results, particularly in her past manipulation of Bill Spencer Jr. into believing he was her father, makes her a prime suspect for altering the test results to fit her own agenda. Luna's motivations for possibly changing the paternity test result are rooted in self-preservation. Having made the risky decision to keep the child despite the potential consequences, she now faces a dilemma. Luna had hoped that the pregnancy would be her ticket out of the dangerous situation she found herself in, believing that the Spencer family would support her and the baby as a means of avoiding imprisonment. But as the realities of the situation sink in, she starts to wonder if the connection to Will Spencer Jr. might actually be more of a liability than an asset. The idea of having Will's child, a member of the powerful Spencer family, may have seemed like a solution at first, but the deeper Luna gets into the situation, the more complicated it becomes. She realizes that the pressure of being tied to such a high-profile family could lead to greater scrutiny, more complications, and possibly a loss of control over her own life. Luna knows that being tied to Will could have severe consequences for her freedom, and the potential legal and social ramifications of the relationship might not be worth the risk. With this in mind, she begins to consider a drastic move, altering the results of the paternity test to avoid being tied to Will Spencer Jr. forever. In a turn of events that surprises many, Luna's instincts kick in, and she starts to take control of the situation in a way that only she can. She knows that if she manipulates the paternity test results, she could potentially escape the tight grip of the Spencer family. Luna's ability to meddle with such crucial information makes her a formidable character. And as the stakes get higher, her desperation to control the outcome of the paternity test grows stronger. But Luna's plan isn't without its risks. If she alters the test results, she could face even more severe consequences down the line. The truth about the father's identity will eventually come out, and Luna knows that when it does, the backlash could be brutal. She is playing a dangerous game, one that could either secure her freedom or seal her fate. The question now is whether Luna will take the risk to save herself, or if she will ultimately reveal the truth, regardless of the consequences. As Luna struggles with her decision, a new layer of tension emerges. Will Spencer Jr. remains unaware of Luna's internal conflict, but he is becoming increasingly concerned about the situation. His feelings for Luna are complicated, and as much as he wants to support her and their child, he can't help but feel manipulated by her silence. Will's frustration grows as he waits for Luna to open up about the true identity of their baby's father, but Luna's reluctance to speak out only adds to the tension between them. Meanwhile, The Spencer family remains in the dark, eager to learn the truth about the paternity of Luna's child. They are hopeful that Will be revealed as the father. But there's a growing sense of unease among them. The family's support for Luna and her unborn child hinges on the outcome of the paternity test. And the possibility that Will might not be the father adds another layer of complexity to the situation. The tension in the Spencer family reaches a fever pitch as they anxiously await the results of the test, unsure of what to expect. In a surprising twist, Luna's decision to alter the paternity test results comes to light. As she goes through the motions of orchestrating the change, she knows that the consequences of her actions could be dire. The stakes are higher than ever, and Luna finds herself at a crossroads. Will she protect herself by changing the results? Or will she come clean and face the inevitable consequences? The choice she makes will have lasting repercussions for everyone involved, especially Will, who has already invested emotionally in the idea of being a father to Luna's child. As Luna prepares to take the next step in her plan, the tension between her and Will grows, as does the pressure from the Spencer family to resolve the situation. The fallout from her actions, whether she chooses to alter the test results or not, will send shockwaves through the lives of everyone connected to her. The secrets that Luna has been hiding are on the verge of being exposed. And the consequences of her choices will reverberate throughout the lives of the Spencer family, Deacon, and everyone involved in this tangled web of lies, betrayal, and deceit. The suspense builds as Luna makes her decision, knowing that no matter what happens, her life will never be the same. Will she reveal the truth and accept the consequences? Or will she continue to manipulate the situation for her own benefit? The answer to this question will shape the future of Luna Nozawa, Will Spencer Jr., and the entire Spencer family. And the fallout from her choices will have far-reaching effects that no one could have predicted. The drama continues to unfold, with every twist and turn keeping viewers on the edge of their seats, wondering what will happen next in this gripping storyline.